You know, I've never been of a mind that the world's going to end, that you need to bury a bunker out in your backyard and fill it full of freeze-dried food or anything like that. But I do believe we all ought to take some precautions. That's my little doggy Petey. We all ought to take some precautions based on what the most probable crap coming our way is. If you've been watching the news now, you might see we got some TV on in the back. Now, we haven't had regular TV for years. Mrs. Goat Hall is watching a rerun of some show back there. Our TV's internet-based. I spend most of my time watching how-to videos on YouTube or reruns of Star Trek. But the most probable stuff, I haven't seen CNN or Fox or any of the mainstream news shows for a long time. I understand there's a lot of talk right now about North Korea. This chick, what's her name? Nikki Haley is the United States ambassador to the United Nations. Said just a few days ago, we're done talking about North Korea. I think there's 2 or maybe 3 carrier task force groups offshore over there from the U.S. North Korea recently launched yet another ICBM, which showed they could probably reach the United States with a nuclear weapon. I think it's pretty possible. I think the odds are going up very high that the U.S. is going to launch a preemptive strike on North Korea pretty soon. They don't think that that fat little guy over there that runs the country should get his hands on the ability to nuke the U.S. I could do a whole video on why I think they want to have nuclear weapons over there. So, the thing is, oh, come on, buddy. This is Daphne, one of our kitties. Anyhow, if you're a small country and you're going to be attacked by the vaunted United States military, overwhelming force that's stomped so many countries into the ground recently, you're going to be prepared to cut the head off the snake. You're going to do everything you can to hit back right away as hard as you possibly can. Now, North Korea has a number of nuclear weapons, and there's some pretty good information that maybe they've miniaturized them down small enough to get them on a missile or even satellite. North Korea has launched 2 satellites recently. I think they call them KMS-3 and KMS-4. And they go over the United States several times a day, these 2 satellites, at a good altitude for what's called an EMP device. I had a stroke back in May, and I'm back to work at least a few hours a day. but the physical therapist hasn't released me to drive yet. So Mrs. Goat Hollow, she's watching TV back there. Rerun of some cop show. Old. She drops me off at work every day and picks me up when I'm done. But I've got this recurring daydream, nightmare, whatever you want to call it. The power goes out while I'm at work. Cell phones don't work. This is my old flip phone. I think I'm going to have to give it up for too long. I can drop it from about 10 feet and it still works just fine. Hey, I got a voicemail. Anyhow, cell phones don't work. I work in the back room, so I come out and people are talking about how they saw a bright flash in the sky. Cars have stopped out on the street. Nobody's cell phone works. I know what's happened. I work about 10 or 12 miles from home. Now, like I said, Mrs. Goat Hollow and I, we're not preppers. We intend to bug in. We do have bug out bags in case we have to get out. But we've got everything we need here. So I've got to get to work 12 miles away, from work 12 miles away to home. Every day I've been carrying my get home bag into work. And I thought I'd repack it just to make sure I'm prepared. And it's a good thing I started this video because I've got a good quality headlamp here. That's not the part you want to see. Hanging on my bag, and it's got 24 LEDs. And as I was getting ready to do the video, I figured out that the batteries are dead, and I've got to get some new ones. I got a high quality first aid kit with everything right up to a couple sutures in here. Now, I belong to the local medical first responders group. And I keep the t-shirt from that outfit with my bag that I can throw on. And the reason is it'll help me tuck my way through a roadblock. Couple bottles of water. I've got save for canteen written on here. When I'm done drinking this, I can reuse the containers. Alright, so put this up here where I can get to it. There's about 50 feet of paracord here in the front pocket. And a disposable lighter. Wonder if that still works. Yeah, yay. I try to keep numerous ways of lighting fires. Here's a little face mask. What do they call it? N95 rated, so it's a pretty good one. And I've got this survival pin that I've had for a long time. There's a pin here, and there's also, I can't remember how to get it open right away, a striker, so that I can light fires with it. I have to scrape the outer covering off to get it to work. I'm not going to do that for the video. And I've got a red banner that says help on it, in case you're stuck somewhere. Here's some spam, and I gotta check and see if that's expired. It is, so I'm gonna have to replace that. Got it from the dollar store, no big deal. Here's some coffee they're like tea bags. So it's always nice, especially if it's wintertime, to have a warm drink. A hooded poncho. Okay, this is just a quick, cheap camping one that you can throw on and try to stay dry. Space blanket. Mylar. Emergency blanket. Stay warm with that. Here's some Vaseline soaked cotton balls, again for starting fires. And a rag, just a plain old rag for cleaning up, washing my face, whatever. Now I packed this as light and small as I could so I could throw it over my shoulder. An old fart like me, 10 or 12 miles, I think I could probably get home in a day. I might have to spend the night. I've got one of these deals with waterproof matches, and there's a little button compass in here and a whistle for signaling, in case you have to signal somebody. Here's a box of cheap 22 shells. I never go to work without my concealed carry, so I always have a weapon. A bar of soap goes with that little wash rag. And here's some water purification tablets. Remember, I got a canteen, and there's a lot of farm ponds between work and home. This is the one that makes the water purification taste better. Here's a little, well, it's like a Swiss Army knife. I don't think it really is. Not made by Victorinox, but, you know, some eating utensils. There's a knife on here too. What else have I got? I guess that's it for that little pouch. I don't keep much in here because I'm just trying to get home from work. I think I designed it. I had in mind when I packed all this, the farthest away I might be is about 50 miles. A couple of days worth. This has come apart. I'm going to put it back together. Here's some chicken teriyaki with rice. So I've got a good meal or two in here. And another one. A few calories to get home. Good pair of heavy leather gloves, in case I've got to do stuff and protect my hands. And that's about it. There's the nut that locks the nest kit back together. We'll look and see what's inside of there real quick. It has a little plate, and a little skillet, a pot, a cup for drinking that coffee, and some chamomile tea. We've got a couple of those. Some matches that I keep pretty dry in here. Another disposable lighter. Yep, it works too, still, so I don't have to worry about it. I've got a little teeny disposable toothbrush and some toothpaste here. Having a little hygiene when you're stressed is going to make you feel a lot better. Some regular tea bags, and last but not least, I got this little tool that opens bottles and oxygen bottles and things. Got a little saw on it, rubber band for whatever I might need, and then a lid for the pot. And that's it. That's all I've got in my get home bag. But that'll help me get home in an emergency and make sure I take it into work with me every day, especially when Mrs. Goat Hollow drops me off and comes back home, so that I can get home as quickly as possible in an efficient manner. The whole thing weighs less than 5 pounds. I can throw it over my shoulder and walk a long distance without any stress. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Do a little preparing for yourself. Don't go overboard, but just a little bit. And if you do, we'll get through this. I'll see you next time.